Hi guys, coincidentally enough I already had this video recorded once, but I recorded it yesterday and completely forgetting that today was Blackout Tuesday in recognition of Black Lives Matter. Now granted, I did use all of my platforms today to continue to spread awareness and spread the messages and information and try to help out as best as I can and try to be as proactive as I can for the movement, just to try to help. But when I had recorded this video last night, I should say, just shifting in my chair. I've been sitting here for a while. Something was really, really, really monumentally weird about that reading. And after I'd recorded and after I had sent out a tweet or two, I was like, and I got downstairs, I'm like, I was an idiot. I recognized exactly what happened. Usually whenever I'm doing a reading, especially of this nature, I put up protections energetically, and I try to make sure that I am in the best frame of mental and spiritual awareness whenever I go into these readings, like I had done for Mondays, and I had forgotten to do that for this one. And as a result, all of that chaotic energy that's going on currently affected the reading, and it was monumentally weird and nothing about it made sense. So I went through my timeline and I saw that the last time I had done a reading about COVID-19 was on March 20th, around then. At the time, the reading was accurate until things just went haywire all over again, because the day after I released that video, Trump had said that he was planning to open everything back up on April 12th, and then that didn't happen, obviously. But I wanted to try to delve into, because with everything going on, I know what my intuition is screaming, but I wanted to see if that is accurate and to see what is going on. So, as always, any of these real world readings that I'm doing are purely 100% merely meant to try to help give guidance in any way, make, shape, or form. You can tell my channel is incredibly small. Nothing about this is in any way, make, shape, or form for monetary gain. Nothing about this is for motivation other than to try to help in any way that I can for all of us, because we are all confused. We are all having a difficult time right now. And, you know, if I can give any sort of insight with the confusion and everything, I'll try to do my best. So, with that, let's get into the reading. Right off the bat, emotional loss, prosperity begins, love begins. Alright, I do get the very strong feeling that everything is interconnected now with the protests. New beginnings, right there. Spiritual union. From foundation, third eye chakra is opening of intuition. Alright, I'm gonna put it right out there automatically with that first card being emotional loss. I do see that COVID is going to come back around and amp up Get ready, we may go into a second quarantine time frame. Okay? So I just want to put that out there. Just be mindful of that. Interestingly enough, I am seeing more positive aspects, but I do want to, with emotional loss, I almost get the feeling of like a death card with that, with things stop and then a new beginning, which this card literally drew right under that. Let's see. Trying to see how things connect. With these two cards where they are, prosperity begins and spiritual union, I get the sense of perhaps new connections, new alliances happening, which wouldn't surprise me because that did come up in the reading I did for Monday. And if you hear any background noise, I do apologize. I cannot control what the people in my house do. From Foundation and Love Begins, I get the feeling that with Love Begins, it has to do with more of the mental health aspect. Improving. And I do not know why, but I feel something somewhat sinister with these two cards. Like maybe something coming to light. Someone getting credit for something that maybe they may not deserve. Because third eye chakra with regards to intuition and everything also can sometimes mean seeing through the BS. Let's draw more cards and see what happens. Partnerships and alliances. What did I say? Triumph. So it may very well be that whatever kind of deal is being brokered here may put us in some sort of a better position to deal with the virus that is going on. Yeah, the trapped in fear. I'm not surprised. And funny how that anxiety card popped on top of the mental health aspect that I said. So yeah, I do see another quarantine period coming. Triumphant success. I don't like that card over those cards. Stand your ground. Conflict and defeat. Solitude. Look at this. All of those mental health. This stack seems to affiliate strongly with a second quarantine. Looks like whatever brokerage or deals are coming in this stack, conflict and defeat, I see what's the word I'm looking for? There's going to be give and take. No one's going to be 100% happy. And I see that with the stand your ground as well. Movement, choices, and decisions. There is an underlying thing to all of this, and I cannot put my finger on it, and it's, quite honestly, it's pissing me off. There's no other way to put that. This stack is that sense that I'm getting from it. Like someone is Someone is making moves in the undercurrent of things. And I am not a conspiracy theorist. I am not one of those people. But there is something going on here that is hidden from view and is not being presented to the American people. And I don't like it. I don't like it. This whole stack leaves this knot in my stomach. Like, this is not good. Obstacles and challenges. Universe. Moving on. Emotional withdrawal. I get the feeling that with this one, something's going to come to light. Because here you had recognition, reward, you had triumph, you had movement, choices, and decisions. All of those seem like outwardly positive cards, but then you have emotional withdrawal on top of it. So either somebody's getting power hungry or something may not work out the way that they want it to. With moving on with this quarantine section, that's happened before, where people were leaving positions and moving into a new direction. Universe on top of this deal here. Obstacles and challenges make sense because I see that give and take. Like, these two piles are closely connected here. And not just because they're next to each other, but it's like these two are going back and forth. And whatever is going on with this deal, with this brokerage, this whatever it is. I don't know if it's with another country. I don't know if it's with businesses. I have no idea what aspect that's with. I do get the feeling it's like with another country though, and I'm going to guess it has to do with China. Because I know right now we are not bringing in a lot of supplies and stuff from them, and I have this feeling that our government and theirs may work out some sort of deal to be able to supply us with supplies. This may actually have started already that we may not have seen yet, but I get that feeling like they're building up a stock. And I get the feeling no one is seeing it happen because of everything that's going on right now. Suffering in silence. Transformation. Yes, see? Wisdom. I've frequently said that the quarantine is a double-edged sword. There's positive and there's negative aspects to it. The negative aspects to it is you have a lot of people losing their job. You have a lot of people who are financially getting hurt in this process, businesses, and especially the local businesses. But you also have the positive side of it, that it's giving people the time to deal with the stuff that they haven't been dealing with because they've been working and busy. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that suffering in silence immediately just gives me that confirmation that, yes, whatever is going on here is happening, and it's happening hidden from view. This deal is going to be positive, and it's going to be beneficial to what's going on. But there's a lot of that stuff happening behind closed doors that we are not in any way, make, shape, or form privy to, and we may not even see it until the second wave comes back around, which unfortunately I have a feeling is going to happen sooner than later. Spiritual strength. Usually when something doesn't go your way, that's when you revert into a more spiritual side of things. Heart chakra. Victory and success. Doesn't surprise me, but the deal. Positive movement forward. Patience and planning. Don't like this pile. I can't. This is almost like this deal is throwing into a wrench in this person's plan. And when this happens, it's like they're doing a waiting game. They're trying to play the long game. And put some sort of ulterior plans into it. Don't know why. I don't like that pile. Rest and rejuvenate when things are great and foundation achievements and celebrating and everything's going to be great and everything's going to look positive for, you know, opening things back up, and this person is going to cash in on it. Why do I get the feeling that whomever's in this pile, they're manipulating things behind the scenes. They're getting in the ear of people. And whatever's going on here, it's like they're manipulating it. In whatever deal that they do here that was recommended by this person's cashing in on it. That's the feeling I get from it. Choose wisely. Financial and material changes. That doesn't surprise me. Again, another patience card with that person. Discontent and boredom. Yeah, I am authority. That discontent and boredom, these are very much reminiscent of the cards that I pulled in the last reading with the quarantine. Authority is obviously government, and it's very interesting that it fell on this. Reclamation of power. Base chakra. That's celebration. Restoring balance. Sacral chakra is, I believe I can. Ooh, I like that. I like that card for here. Like, they're trying to pull strings. They're trying to manipulate the situation, but they're not going to benefit from it. They're going to see it. They're going to catch on to whatever this person is doing, and they're going to put a kibosh on it. Material and spiritual prosperity. And throat chakra, speak up. I get the feeling that with the throat chakra here, whistleblower, someone's going to reveal what happened here. Like, it's going to come out in the media, and then that's when we're going to find out about it. This might have to do with that thing that I kept saying has been hidden all along, and it's like I could see it through this veil, but it was like there was this mist over it, so I couldn't see it clearly. And I still can't entirely, but at least now I'm getting more of a sense of what's going on. Accelerated motion. Yeah, deception, envy, that person. I'm feeling 3 more. Waiting game. They're gonna try. Hope. Destiny. That card always comes up with this virus. It always comes up. This entire situation is meant to happen. if you are somebody who's protesting and you're watching this, please do yourself and everyone else a favor and get yourself tested. And don't just get yourself tested once, but more than once. Excuse me. Especially being around so many people and so close together. And I know many people are wearing masks, but many are not. And when you're hot and sweaty and you're moving around a lot and close quarters with other people, you never know if they're shedding the virus and you're picking up on it. But it's all about a wait and see. This entire situation, there is still hope. So even though I do see a second wave coming and coming sooner than we'd hoped or planned, especially with these protests, I'm going to forewarn you. I have been saying that ever since it started, even though I cheer on these protests because they're necessary to elicit change and have the government pay attention. I see it, that change coming at a huge, great cost. Like, I don't get the feeling that it's going to be small losses either. I'm getting the feeling that this may result in millions of people dying. I hope I'm wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. I hope 100% that I am wrong with that. I want nothing more than all of this shouting and screaming that I've been doing about the virus coming back and all of these situations causing a rift and everything, and causing it to come back around, and the second wave going through the planet and infecting over a third of the world's population and killing more than 10% of it. I hope I'm wrong. I really, honestly, genuinely hope I'm wrong. I would much rather be that crazy lady who was spouting about all of these the sky is falling situations and be proven wrong. I would love the universe to prove me wrong on this. I really would. Because I don't wish for this situation to get worse. I really don't. And I don't wish for what I've predicted to come true. I don't want it to come true. So I had that deck shuffled off camera. I'm going to shuffle these on camera. I didn't know what that deck was going to say. Just like I won't know what any of these will say. Okay. That can be good or bad. Interesting. See, that money aspect. There is a money aspect tied in with this virus. And something about that just reads as a very sketchy situation to me. I do get the feeling that we will see potentially a second or third even stimulus. If it does come back around and people have to quarantine again. But I'm not sure how much of that is going to happen underneath this current president. We'll see. Emotions running high. Yeah, no shit. I could have told you that one. Okay, now I felt the stop. Alright. Fiery climax approaches. Ew. New romantic cycle begins. That doesn't necessarily mean external love. But interestingly enough, this card came up with the reading I did about the protests as well. And if you haven't seen the map already, there is already not just the entire United States has demonstrations for the Black Lives Matter movement right now, which I'm very happy for. But we are actually seeing a global movement with all of this and global support with this movement. So in this context, I get more of this sense of a unification of people and more people finding a unified voice within all of these situations. Like, even though, yes, the pandemic coming back around and everything will absolutely result in losses, it'll result in people's mental health being affected, all of that, it will happen. There will be self-harm. There will be loss of life that is connected to the pandemic, but not because of them being sick. There will be all of that. But I see people having, in general, a more positive mental frame and a renewed sense of, hate to put it this way, of everybody working together and everybody in the same boat, being kind to one another. I see that being amped up more because of this movement. Balance spirituality and practicality. Don't let pride get in your way. That came up. Your commitment is being tested. Personal issue reaches resolution. Communication is key. Some of these came up exactly in the reading I did for Monday, which does not surprise me because the pandemic and this movement are now interconnected. But with this fiery climax approaches, I would say that we are definitely going to see the second wave hit sooner than later. I would say probably end of July or early August. And I'm gonna forewarn you, hold on to your seats, because it's not gonna be in any way, make, shape, or form as smooth as the first time around. That is absolutely 100% what I'm seeing and sensing. Let me get the Dark Goddess cards out of the way. Not that I don't like them or anything, it's just with resistance and everything up, I tend to like to get the potential bad news out of the way before I read the other cards. What? I have no idea where I got all this black stuff on my hand all of a sudden. It wasn't there a minute ago. What happened? Give me 1 second. Trying to get it off. It's coming off a little bit. I have no idea where it came from in the first place. Got some schmutz on my hand. Okay. That's good enough. Let's put my hand in some ash or something. It's still there. That's alright. I'll wash my hands after. It's what I do anyway these days. This is me attempting to shuffle this deck. This deck is very big for my hands. Shuffling the other decks goes a lot easier. Generally speaking. I do have one deck that is even bigger than this one, and that one is a can be really, really, really difficult to shuffle sometimes. Okay. So let's see. Judgment. Curiosity. Persuasion. Health. Damn. Deliverance. Trust. Prosperity. That money aspect keeps coming in. Creation. Alright, so let's see what this is all about. I was just going to say I get a very Pandora's box feeling with this card, and then I read the Goddess's Pandora. Duh. Alright. I almost feel like these are like connected this way again. Sometimes I have to stare at the cards a moment because sometimes they connect in different ways, but I feel like it's up and down again. So with Judgment and Deliverance, I have a feeling that this has something to do with the government in some way. I'm very much getting the sense of you have been judged and found wanton, and I do keep sensing like the people of the United States being absolutely fed up and sick and tired of the BS in Washington from like everybody, and doing like this, screw you, sweep the board, completely revamp and redo everything. And I almost get the feeling that that's going to start with the resurgence of this pandemic in some way. Not necessarily coinciding with it, but you could see it in November, we'll see. Curiosity and trust. I have this feeling has to do with having to go back into quarantine and following the instructions from the government again. This persuasion and prosperity may have to do with that deal that I mentioned. Someone is going to cash in on this situation. I mean, I know we've been seeing it with big companies like Amazon and things like that, where they're making a lot of money because they're delivering, delivering a lot of the stuff. People are ordering a lot of stuff from their house, but this does not have to do with business. I am seeing someone money exchanging hands in the government. I don't know to what extent. Health and creation. I have a feeling that with those two together, that some sort of treatment may be developed. I don't think it's going to be a vaccine. I don't see a vaccine until next year. But I get the feeling of like a more effective treatment to help people control. That doesn't, abuse, destruction. Now, you want to know the funny thing? When I did this reading yesterday, those 3 cards came up. Now, you saw me shuffle. That control came over this government issue, abuse, connecting this government issue to the prosperity after what I said, and destruction. Now, the interesting thing about Kali is she's a Hindu goddess. I've actually made a video on her. I'll link her video somewhere. But she is also can be a protective force. And destruction can mean with regards to the virus, endurance, knowledge, coercion. See that money changing hands thing? Fate. Abandonment. Loss. Now, interesting, these 3 cards did come up also last night. Fortuna, fortune. I feel is playing again into the destiny role. Abandonment and loss, I don't think has to pertain to people. I'm getting the feeling that abandonment and loss has to do with this huge, like, tower moment that is happening with our country because of this virus. I'm feeling one more. Appearance. Integrity. Yep. Hubris. Yeah, it's this big, huge tower moment, and it's gonna come. Well, we've been seeing it start already this year. 2020 has been a frickin' year. Let's just be honest with that. And we knew it was gonna be this huge, monumental year. I get the feeling like next year will be a little bit easier and not quite so psychotic as this year. I get the feeling like the universe is in just this destructive tower mode, revealing to people the things that have been being said or thought about for decades that we had no real confirmation or no way of seeing in front of us. And now it's just all coming in, and we're seeing the true nature of our government. We're seeing the true nature of things going on. And because of that, we're going to see this huge shift happen. Last card for this group, deception. Yeah. The deception that the government is doing. I see with the return, with integrity, I get the feeling that it's like a return to integrity and a return to honesty, that our government, well, it was never 100%, ever. It's never been 100%. We're going to see more honesty with the American public because our government is getting a very strong glimpse into the fact that the American people are not as stupid as they thought. So, interestingly enough, this deck did not call to me last night, but it did for tonight. So let's see what it has to say. And of course, it's one of those decks that often doesn't like it when I try to shuffle it. Ignore the background noise, my puppy is in the room. Seems to be her favorite space these days. Okay, let's see. Almost done. Yeah, this one doesn't have to be shuffled as much as maybe some of the others. Probably because I didn't use it. I don't think I've used it in quite some time, to be honest. And I feel one more. Yeah, okay. So let's see. Gates of Triumph, Mystic Healer, Uncovering Treasure. Yep, okay. This is really what all of these shifts this year are about. We are seeing a huge transformative process, and with the Uncovering Treasure, again, it on the surface it's a prosperity card, but the moment it dropped, I felt uncovering truth. Healing energy flows through you. Beneath the surface lies a great bounty. Success expands in your life. Embracing enthusiasm. So this is telling you basically have hope. Wise leader. I get that has to do with the political arena. Grounding. Yep. It's just basically confirming everything I said. huge tower moment. Everything will be okay in the end, but we gotta get through it. And the wise leader has to do with political arena. Alright, last two decks. I see you. Two more. Last one. Stimulate, protection, radiate, endurance, detox. Okay. I get the, yeah, it's gonna last a while with this endurance card. With the second wave, stimulate, I get the feeling it's happening, like I said, faster than we thought. Protection, radiate. Radiate is something coming to light. Endurance, it's gonna last a while. Detox. Yeah. The detox, I get the feeling from like the death card of clearing out and renewal. Alright, last deck. Because it's gone on longer than I expected, and a lot of the decks are all saying the same thing over and over and over again. One. If it would cooperate, not do the thing. One. Two. Wow. Sorry. It's my own fault because I'm getting tired. And last one. Or so I thought. I hate it when that happens. It's like, I'm done. No, you're not. Okay. This one is the last one. If ever there was a time I wanted to cuss out my cards, it's tonight. Thank you. The sun. Yeah, let's hope everything's going to be okay. Mastery, people changing careers, positions, brighter future happening. Future. time, romantic love, divine wisdom, falling away of illusion, and potential. Okay, yeah, very positive future. Depending on what happens, this is either your time has run out or you have time. I see a huge awakening with all of this. Like global awakening. Huge, huge monumental shifts. Sorry. An experience. Yeah. I get the feeling of rebirth with that. Water is emotional release. Patterns. New way of life. It will end, but it may take some time to end. I'm almost getting the feeling now that depending on how seriously people take this, we may not see an end to the situation until 2022. I didn't want to say that, but like March or May of 2022. Hopefully it's sooner. I think we can all agree that if it meant that it ends sooner, if, instead of essential employees still going to work and all that kind of stuff, just like shut down everything except for maybe hospitals for 2 weeks. If it means that everybody stay home 2 weeks, no exceptions, that we can nip this thing in the bud. Maybe even 3 weeks. I think we'd all be willing to do that as long as it's like over and done with. You know what I mean? Keep in mind with this virus, the main thing that we want to keep an eye on is that R factor. Until that R factor drops below 1, and hopefully even lower, it's really not that safe to go out and do whatever you want. The higher the R factor for this virus, the longer it's going to take to kill it and to get rid of it. And the more it gets spread around and the more people get sick. So it really is on all of us to be extremely responsible and to be very careful. And like I said in another video, and the video that I actually addressed this subject, every move we make during this pandemic makes a difference between people living and people dying. So I know it's hard, I know it's tough, and I know nobody wants to hear this, but when this second wave happens, and it's going to happen and it's going to hit us harder, really a lot harder than the first wave. As much as we don't want to do it, stay home. Social distance, masks, gloves, washing your hands, all that kind of stuff. It's still necessary and it's still important for you to take those precautions now and when the second wave happens. Because whatever moves you make and the less serious you take it, because it's not over yet, the more people are going to be infected in the long run. So, still, do your best. And with all of that, I wish you guys lots of love. I wish you good health. I wish you an ease on your financial situation. And until next time, I wish you the brightest of blessings and blessed be.